Hi, Doug Ness here at Wilderness Pro Lodge. Today I'm going to share a story about our close friend Jesse Markus, who one day back in April of 2012 was going about his daily chores at the lodge next door. Little did he know that day the wilderness would try and take his life. This is his story about him surviving against all odds.
Hi, my name is Jesse Markus. I live out in the bush of Alaska in the small village of Port Allsworth. I first met the Nesses in 2009 when I came up to work for a hunting lodge doing construction. Since then, I've gotten to know the family very well and have worked, hunted, and fished with them both here and in Idaho. In late April, early May of 2012, while I was working at the lodge near the Nesses, I almost lost my life when I went through the ice on a snow machine, going to pick up the lodge's two dogs who had wandered 4 miles across frozen Lake Clark to Port Allsworth. It was a warm, sunny day in the low 50s, and even though the bay had given me a scare a couple days before when I was out on the snow machine and had seen what I thought was a wave underneath the ice, I went out anyways. With the weather being warmed, I grabbed a fleece jacket, a ball cap, light gloves, and knee boots and went out. Heading out of the bay, my baseball cap blew off, and like many times before, I swung around to go pick it up. But as I was slowing down to pick it up, the back of the machine went through. I hit the throttle trying to drive out of it, but all it did was dig in deeper. Stepping off the snow machine, I went into the water up to my waist, but thankfully I was able to crawl out, and the ice was somewhat solid enough to hold me. And I had two choices to make. I could either go towards the far shore, which seemed like it was more solid ice, or the closer shore, which is only about 150 feet away, but the ice was already rotten as it was already dark and the water was already appearing at the shoreline. I decided that going towards the closer shore would be better because I didn't know what kind of condition the ice was on the far side. So I went around the back of the snow machine and started crawling towards the shore. The closer I got, the more I could feel the ice starting to move underneath me, so I started to army crawl, knowing that at some point the ice was going to give way and I was going to have to try and swim for it. At that time, I knew that I couldn't panic, because if I started panicking, there was no way I was going to make it. I thought of my family and prayed to God, knowing that He was in control and that His will would be done, even as I recited Psalm 23 to myself as I was crawling. The closer I got to shore, the more rotten the ice became. Every time I put pressure down, whether it was my elbows or my stomach or my knees, water was seeping up through. I was having to dig in with my toes to help push myself along so that I wasn't putting as much pressure down on my elbows as I was crawling. At this point, I knew I was going to break through the ice at some point, and I was just hoping and praying I'd be close enough to shore to be able to make it. About 10 feet from shore, I went in and had to paddle/flail through the ice to try and get to the rocks. And my knee hit a rock about 4 times before I realized it was there and was able to put my foot up on it to rest. After that, I was able to crawl out on top of it. Collecting myself, I was able to crawl out onto the rocks, and then knowing that the cold water was going to cause hypothermia if I didn't do something, I ended up stripping down to my underwear, and thankfully with the sun out and the rocks warm, I was able to dry off and warm up. It took about 15 minutes of rubbing my legs and my arms and my feet to get the circulation back going, and ended up walking back to the lodge, which was about a half mile away, knowing that God had spared my life. Alaska is a beautiful and wonderful place to live, but after living here for 10 years, I know that it only takes one mistake to lose your life, and I am thankful that God had mercy on me that day, and give Him all the praise.
That was quite a life-changing event that Jesse survived. 6 years later, Jesse and I got together to see if we could find where that snowmobile went through the ice. We found the snowmobile here, and it went down. Jesse's snowmobile went down, and here's what it looks like right here. That's 54 feet down. Get it turned back here again. Right there's a snowmobile.
You see in red.
There's the track. There's the track. And that's how you salvage them. There's his dry pack. I don't know if it's still going to be dry or not, but...
So I was thinking if we can bend a hook on the other side,
Yep.
I guess it won't really matter. We'll just
That'll have
hook
enough
onto
strength.
it
You're not
and pull
going
it
to...
up.
Once you hammer that'll work good.
I think that'll work, and then a 4x. I've got plenty of rope here.
Okay.
And then a 4x4.
I'll get a couple boards. Yeah, see what we can get.
It isn't going up and it isn't coming down.
Just hold on a second. Let me see. I'm going to put my deal in the bucket. Try and...
Can't see the hook.
Get it? Got it? Let's take a picture. Hold on. There, you got it. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I see it. Beautiful.
That's it. Okay. Okay, we're pulling this out of the lake, the snowmobile. We're kind of all set up here. Got a hole cut, got everything ready to go, chaining up, setting up.
You gotta go forward some.
Hope. You coming? He's slipping now. Okay, well, we got this far. Got it just off the bottom, at least attached. We're figuring out how to pull it out tomorrow with a come-along, powered come-along. And so we're just leaving this stuff here for tonight. And we'll come back and hopefully figure it out tomorrow. Okay, we're putting up the A-frame now to pull the snowmobile out of the water. Get that up there. Kind of a cold and windy day. Getting this set up to anchor. 4x4s in to secure it, and then we'll use a come along to pull it and hook it off and keep doing it forward. Pull that up all the way. And the bubbles are coming up off the machine now. This is moving. Connected it up. Got this tied on here on a good pulley I brought up here and chained up to there. So it's going to work. And now the process begins. 50 feet. Well, we're trying a couple different things here to get the leverage right. And we'll see here now.
Okay, you can step anywhere else. Step in there.
Hey, we got everybody out here helping today. Bones, are you helping today?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, what are you going to say to Jesse? You want us to do that still?
Have a house for you, Jesse.
Oh, man. That's quite a hat you got there. My goodness.
Yeah, the last 2 times in church.
That's awesome.
Hi, Jesse. And he's come up here.
Slowly getting it up. We've gotten it up about 15 feet so far. And
What is it?
I don't know.
Hey, there you
It's
can
a
see the
snow
snowmobile
machine.
down.
It's the back of a snow machine.
Oh no, that's full of water.
There's your dry bag.
Not so dry.
See if there's any fish in it.
See what happens.
This is the dog's leash. This is the reason I was even on the ice in the first place. So, proves I was not just out playing.
You weren't
around.
joyriding. You had a purpose. Go get the dog.
Yeah, it looks better than the machine does.
Try and push it under.
Okay, careful, we're going to be near the windshield. Is that windshield going to clear off?
Here's Jesse's dry bag. He's on the back of the snow machine.
Yep, you're good.
Down underneath the water for 6 years. You were wondering how well it would do. But it is just back to the water. And weighs about 20 pounds. So, I guess 6 years under the water. Even the best dry bag can't stand up to it.
Okay, Larry.
Windshield's spur on the ice.
Mom, I don't know what to do.
Stay close to me
Lyle, where's your
and jump up and down.
Your left.
Now what?
Jump, jump.
You bet. It's a good thing we had these logs, man.
Hold your hands together. Lindsay, cross your arms across your chest. Hold your gloves, cross your arms across your chest. Hold your arms together and jump.
I did it.
Okay, jump a lot.
Catch and release.
Is it catch or
I'll let it. I'll see it.
Here, let's see if there's any more in there, Jesse.
Oh, that is. Ooh, I gotta get you right. That is a good looking exhaust pipe.
gosh! That's not supposed to do that. Oh my gosh, it rusted, the cable
I
rusted
don't know
completely
if
through.
you even want to put it back in the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a couple of spare spark plugs there too.
Wow.
So this is, looks like after 7 years underwater, things get kind of rusted out. If there's injection oil, that might still be in there.
That's okay.
Almost 5 minutes.
Looks like there's a level on the side.
I know. I thought there was.
It's not, huh?
Basically, the
It's
whole
just
last
stained
part there
plastic.
is documented.
All the plastic caps still work.
Yeah. You roast.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I think you should.
Something, I guess.
What you doing there, Doug?
Getting the, this is 2 Burbot horsepower.
2 burbot power.
Trying to get out
There you go. Got it. One way of fishing in Alaska.
Take your snow
Bait's been down there for 6 years.
6 years. See you there, Vaughn?
Oh, that's awesome.
Look at that.
Crazy.
Oh, look at
Maybe a burbot stuck in the cylinder.
That's all she wrote.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
We got it.
Nice work.
Everybody,
Thanks.
everybody on the.
I think this is
On the crew?
worthwhile.
Woohoo!
Hey,
Give a
boom!
high five.
High five! Yeah, we all got it there.
These aren't exactly designed to be.
All right.
She's got it.
Yeah, wash it with soap.